Okay guys, here we are on the Rosemary, and this is a boat, and we're just looking down into the freezer box. This freezer box that was built in, it's stainless steel, and it used to run off a compressor that ran off the motor, but there was lots of problems with that. One of the biggest issues with that, even if it is working, is that you have to run your motor to keep your fridge cold. So what we've done is we've gone and bought an Isotherm refrigeration panel. So this is the panel here, and basically this is a 12 volt, runs off a 12 volt system. So here's the panel that gets screwed into the inside of the freezer box, and then it's got this cable here that you have to unwind. It's actually comes wound up in a coil, and you have to just gently unwind it, and also gently unwind this other coupling as well that you've got here. This thinner copper cable was all coiled up as well, so you have to be very careful not to put too many kinks in it. Well, no kinks, basically. Just carefully unroll it with your hands. Now basically what happens is that panel there is bolted onto the inside of the box. Then these gas lines have to go through, and so we had to drill a hole through the bulkhead. So there's a hole, I hope you can see that. So I've drilled a hole through there. You've also got a thermostat controller. This is the Isotherm. This is you can actually get a digital one if you want. And now I'm going to mount this inside the box as well, because well, it can be mounted inside the box or outside, but for me to mount it outside, I'd have to drill extra holes for running the pipes and stuff like that. So that's going to go in, and that cable has to be put through the hole as well, that hole down there, to connect up to the compressor unit. And this thermostat, this is a temperature gauge basically, that has to also be clamped to the panel. They give you there's a clamp. The kit comes with a clamp, and it clamps onto these two holes, and the sales representative recommended that I get that aluminium little piece of piping and put like a U in it, and then you clamp it on. And I'll be clamping it to the back of the panel, because it's actually got some spaces that hold the panel out from the wall. Now we'll go through here. This is the compressor unit. It's quite small, as you can see in my hand and the size of it, and it's got a little fan there and a little compressor and the same kind of gas lines, which will when those gas lines from the panel come through, they get connected to this. So one of the other things you need to do is you need to mount the mounting bracket, and that compressor will go in here. You pull these out, and the compressor slots in and locks into these pins, and there's the hole there where the gas lines are going to come out and connect up to the compressor. And then you have to run electric cable, and I've already got my electric cable fed through this conduit, and I've got 5mm cable. That was also what was recommended. Nice big thick chunky cabling, so that you don't have as much voltage drop, especially if I have to run about 5 meters, so it's quite a distance really, and so that will help with the voltage drop from the battery power supply to the compressor unit. There's fairly straightforward, everything's sort of labelled for what you're supposed to do. Over here you got plus and minus, and that's obviously your negative and positive power supply, and all of these are connected up to those other cables we saw from the controller, and they're all labelled C, P, T, and the DI is for a digital interface, I think that's called, for a digital interface. And basically that's it. So I'm going to go ahead and carry on installing this, and we'll do another video to update you once we've got it all installed. And I'll probably come across a few little issues along the way, which I'll be able to tell you how I combated those issues. So we'll see you in the next episode.